To this week's episode of the Baby Mothers podcast. I'm your host, Shells, Instagram name Shell Says. Thank you everyone for supporting us so far. The feedback has been great. On this week's episode, I have a guest and she goes by the name of Natalie. Welcome, Natalie.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Good. All right, so we're going to jump in and talk a little bit about your experience, okay, as a mum. So why don't I kick off by asking you, how many kids do you have?
I have two children, yes.
Yeah, and how old are they?
My daughter is 18.
Okay.
And my son's 13.
13, okay, so you've got teenagers.
Yes,
okay.
Teenagers.
Cool. And then, so you've got two kids, do they have the same dad?
They don't.
They don't?
They
two different
don't.
dads?
Yeah, one is from my first marriage and the second one is from my second marriage.
All right, so you've been married twice.
Married and divorced twice.
And divorced twice?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's talk about that, because that's quite interesting. Not everybody gets married, I guess, at our age.
Yeah.
So how did you get married the first time?
I thought I was grown. I was 17 and...
Did you get married at 17?
I got married when I was 17.
Wow. Okay, sorry if I'm a bit shocked by that, but 17 is quite young to be getting married.
Well,
how old was he?
He was significantly older.
Was he?
Significantly older.
When you say significantly...
Old enough to have known better than to be marrying a 17-year-old.
No, but like, come on, like in the 20s, in the 30s, like you're going to have to give us a ballpark.
About 10 years.
About 10 years. Okay. All right. So how did your family feel about that?
Well, I was already kind of living on my own when I was 16. Not because of any real reason. My mum lived far from where I was working and training to be a nurse at the time. So I lived in my father's apartment. So I felt like a grown-up, I guess. And I was living in a grown-up world in my head.
Okay, I'm just going to
ask... And I met this guy, and it was just this whole... And there was this whole Jamaican thing at the time, where everyone was dating Jamaican guys.
So was he Jamaican?
He was Jamaican,
Are you Jamaican?
No, I'm not. I'm Nigerian.
You're Nigerian. Okay, but he was Jamaican. Yeah. Okay, so there's a Jamaican trend going on.
Yeah, I think...
When you were 17.
I guess so. Around that time, I feel like where everyone was dating... Jamaican
when
guys.
When you say Jamaican, no, like English Jamaican.
No,
or
not English Jamaican.
Yardie.
Like yardies. I don't know what we were thinking.
When you say we, I don't know.
No, when I say we, but not you personally, but I know there's like, I had a chat with a friend the other day, and there was a group of us that we were like, there was a time. Why did we go through this kind of? We called it, it could be a bit derogatory, but the yardie phase.
Yardie phase, okay. All right, and then let me ask you this. I'm just going to ask the question that maybe people are thinking. Did you get married because you were pregnant?
No.
Okay, right, so you wasn't pregnant.
I didn't have my daughter till I was 19.
She was 19. All right, okay, so you got married for love?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Seriously, I was in love.
How long had you been together before you got married?
About a year.
About a year.
Just under a year.
Okay. All right.
And I was living on my own. I did have to get my parents' permission.
Because you were underage?
Yes.
Is it? Really?
Yeah, you have to have your parents' permission.
Wow. I mean, that for me feels like you shouldn't get married if you need your parents' permission.
Exactly.
I feel like you're not.
Yeah.
You're not grown. You can't,
you
can't make that.
My mum does know now, but I forged her signature and did it all. But, so...
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
You forged your mum's signature?
Yeah.
So did your mum know you got married?
Afterwards.
Okay, so and what kind of wedding was it? Like,
it was just a really quiet...
Just you and him?
Yeah, and a few of my friends.
Oh, really?
And a registry office in
But
South
it
London.
felt like this was normal to you? It felt like this was a proper
It felt like
marriage.
this was it. I think...
Because what you're describing sounds more like...
This is, I'm speaking in hindsight now.
Do you know what I mean?
So speaking in hindsight is a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, because I'm hearing it as like, like sneaky... No, you know what I mean? Like, because marriage, like big marriage, really, wedding, dinner.
Yeah, someone loved me, and I was in love.
Okay, so he was 10 years older than you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was he like maturer and like, he must have been.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and we would do we'd go out to dinner and have dinner at home and have dinner parties.
I'm just gonna ask, did he have money?
Well, he wasn't exactly.
Does he have more money than you?
Well, he would have had more money than me, but I was working at the time and training as a nurse.
Okay.
At that time, there were still NPQs. So that's what I was doing. And I was being paid to train.
Okay.
As a nurse. So I was getting paid quite a lot of money for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Living on her own.
For a 16-year-old. Yeah. But you're now a wife at 17. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. But like you said, so you didn't get pregnant for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So was the marriage going good?
Yes.
It was going all right?
For the first few years, it was great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. And then you get pregnant?
Yeah.
And is that good? Is that a blessing? Is that great?
Pregnancy's great. I didn't know straight away. I learned quite late into my pregnancy that I was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Like 6 months in.
That's not true.
No, seriously.
Them things happen on the telly, in the soaps, and we're like, that's fake. How did you not know?
I still had regular periods.
Nothing. And what, no belly?
No belly. Even if I could show you pictures
of
before and after, I wore the same jeans.
I feel like
throughout my pregnancy, except at the very end.
I feel like the audience are going to be slightly skeptical about that.
You were wearing low rises at the time,
seriously.
I swear. I've even got pictures. People wouldn't get up for me on the bus.
Okay, well that must have been a huge... Okay, but I know, but not just what it looks like. It must be like your own body. Like that must have been a shock then to find out that you're now 6 months.
I was actually devastated because that wasn't the plan.
Yeah, and you didn't get that time, I guess, of the beginning to decide if you want to go ahead with it, decide what it's going to do. And obviously some people need 9 months to get used to the fact that they're going to have a baby. So you didn't get 9 months. No. You're getting like 3 months.
Yeah. And my whole world changed. And my mum was amazing, luckily.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then we had this baby and everything was good at first.
Okay. So obviously you mentioned earlier on that you did get divorced.
Yeah.
So how long was you married for? How long was you in a happy marriage for?
3 years.
3 years. All
and
right.
then I think just before my daughter was born and soon after that, there was a lot of changes. We went on holiday and he only bought himself stuff. It was just little things that probably I didn't notice before, but were definitely there.
Okay.
But now I have somebody else I'm trying to look after. You start to notice other things because you need more.
Okay. And how old is your daughter around about this time now then?
She's like 1. She's like... under 1, going to 1, yeah.
Okay. And then so kind of how did that play out? Like how did it come to an end? Like was it gone for a while? Was there arguments? Did you leave? Did he leave?
There was a lot of arguments and a lot of silent treatment. And I'm a chatterbox. So imagine talking to nobody.
Yeah.
And you're in a house so you feel lonely.
Yeah.
And then...
And you're how old now? So 20, 21?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's sleeping on the couch. And now I want to be young again. And I'm making new friends and doing new things. And it's making him uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. And the relationship is breaking down because I'm growing out of it.
Okay. So then how did it come about that you get divorced?
He moved out.
Okay.
And eventually, in fact, I didn't get divorced straight away.
Yeah. Well,
after a while, he went, we broke up, we co-parented as best I could.
When you say I could, it was hesitant there.
Yeah.
Well, how did the co-parenting go? Not well.
You just make the best of it. I feel like as a woman, you want your children to have a relationship with their father, by all means, sometimes.
But when you say by all means, like what was he not... Like, what is he not doing then? Like, is he not willing? Is he not coming? Is he not consistent? He would
send money, but I'd have to ask. He wouldn't come and see her.
Oh, he wasn't really doing that?
He wouldn't come and see her unless I took her to him.
Okay.
And I would have to constantly be involved in any exchange they had. They're good now, though, because she's a teenager.
Of course, she's big.
Choose her relationship.
But I'm thinking about early on.
Yeah, very early on.
When you say you had to be involved, what do you mean?
Like, he wouldn't come and pick her up, or he wouldn't come and see her, or come to school.
Did you have to stay, or was he happy to take her on her own?
No, he wouldn't want to take her on her own, or even come to, like, even if I went there, I'd have to stay.
Yeah, so do you think that was based maybe on still wanting you or still wanting to be around you?
I'd hate to speculate, but possibly.
Because, I guess it's just because we've heard in the past a lot from fathers who say that they don't want that they just want the child.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know why the mum can't separate the two.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking now, how come he was still wanting it to be?
I don't know, but I feel like that was part of it, to have still that control over me and to still be able to have me around whenever he wanted. But yeah.
Okay. And so obviously you were young and he was older. Mm-hmm. So I guess it would be easy to kind of maybe put the blame on him and say he should have known better or da-da. Do you take any part in the marriage breaking down?
Completely. I had no business getting married in the first place.
I like the way you said
I wish
no
I could.
Business.
I had no business. Now I wish I could. Technically, people are like, you can void that. You were so young. Yeah,
it doesn't count. Does your daughter know you got married that young?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm very honest. Yeah.
Because obviously she's 18 now. What if she came home and said, "Mum, I'm getting married"?
Yeah, she wouldn't be having that conversation with me. But if she did...
because, that's what kids like to do. They like to say, well, Mum, this is what you done, so I can do the same thing. But it's like...
If she did, I would have to support her. But luckily for me, she's not on that path at all. A lot of my friends have children and I make her babysit loads. For years she's been doing it.
Trying to scare her out of it.
She doesn't go near children. She has no interest at the moment, thank goodness. But if she did... I think the most important thing is for your children to feel supported in whatever they're going to decide to do.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question then, because you mentioned that. Do you think your parents did the right thing by supporting you?
They didn't support me. They didn't know.
They didn't know. Right. So do you think if they knew, they would have stopped it?
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
When did you let them know?
After.
Like after what? A week, 6 months, a year?
I think after my mum saw a picture on Facebook or something silly, or someone's picture, and then it turned into a big thing, and then we discussed it, and they saw I was happy.
Yeah.
At the time, late. and I'd already done it.
Yeah, it's too late by then. Okay.
So they just let me get on with it, and I was, like I said, already living on my own.
Okay.
So it wasn't that drastic of a change.
How did your dad react to you being with an older gentleman? Don't say he didn't know how old he was. You lied.
No. He definitely knew, and he was very upset, but he couldn't really say anything because he wasn't really involved in my upbringing like he should have been, or involved in my life like he should have been. So he couldn't, even if he had wanted to say anything, he couldn't. Okay. I think shame probably caught his tongue.
Okay. Do you think that maybe you were searching for love by getting with an older gentleman from missing out on your dad?
Definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of issues of the heart stem from your growing up. And I think I've always craved that love, especially from a male, love, attention, protection. And I felt that for the first time. Even if it was at a young age, it was like the dream.
So what kind of relationship did you have with your dad growing up? Like not seeing him at all, or just seeing him every now and then?
Empty promises and now and then.
Okay. So you think that's had an effect?
Oh, of course, definitely.
And so would you say, from what you mentioned of your husband, your first husband, would you say that he then went on to kind of do that with your daughter then?
Yes. Really? Yeah.
So
But I think the difference with their relationship is kind of like I forced it more.
Okay.
I made sure that they had a relationship. I made sure that they communicated somehow. Whereas my mum didn't really bother with my dad. She just let him get on with it.
I think, and that's a tough one, I think, because the responsibility isn't yours.
It's not.
To make the dad do what he needs to do and, to enforce that relationship. And I guess some people...
That's why I don't blame my mum for not...
Yeah, because you can't always say to the mum, right, well, you do the right thing then and you force everything
I'm
and
fed up
you
of
keep
doing the right thing.
Easy and,
Yeah.
But if you hadn't, I guess they'd have a very different relationship.
Being the bigger person is
tiring.
It's
all right, so you've got divorced from the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a bit older now.
Yeah. Not wiser.
Well, I mean, because I'm burning to ask, why would you get married again?
I still believed in love. I still believe in love. I don't think I'd get married again though, but I still believe in love.
Okay. So you meet someone new now. Is this person closer to your age, or are you still dating older men?
Closer to my age.
Closer to your age. Another Jamaican?
No.
No? Okay. Pretty different.
A Nigerian.
Okay. All right. And then, so things must be going good. Are you pregnant before you get married?
No.
No?
Oh, yes. But,
you are this time.
Oh, God, this...
Please explain. I'm trying to understand.
I did this one backwards. So we were dating a few months.
Did you get pregnant quick?
And I got pregnant.
Right, okay. Rapid like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did that conversation go with him? Like, is he happy? Is he angry? Are you he's boyfriend and girlfriend?
No, yeah, we're definitely boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, cool.
Like, and we're doing everything together. He's practically living with me.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So, yeah, I got pregnant real quick.
And are you happy about the pregnancy this time? Because it was your first time. You're devastated.
Yeah.
You happy this time?
Yes.
Okay. It's
yes.
quick, but you're happy.
Yeah.
Have another child.
I'm feeling like, okay, this is the right person I'm supposed to be with, I guess, and things are going well. I wasn't ready to have such another serious relationship, but I just thought, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And yay. And he loves me. And he's a hunter-gatherer. And,
Okay, all right. So then you have your son?
Yeah.
Son, okay. So how long before you get married?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. Okay, so you're together 4.5 years, and are things going good? Do you know what? That sounds like a silly question, because why would you get married if things are not going good?
Because you think you can fix things.
You think it'll make it better.
You think.
Wow.
No, and what I find actually, what I've realised over time is that marriage isn't just about you. You're not getting, most of the time people aren't getting married for themselves. They're kind of getting married for everyone else, for the spectacle of it, for their parents.
Okay. Did you feel any of that pressure to get married?
Of course.
Oh, really?
For the stability of the children, to do it right this time and not fail. I've got a child with him now. Okay. Am I going to fail at another relationship?
Wow, so there's a lot of pressure.
So I felt like, oh my God,
is that like from a Nigerian thing? Pressure to get married?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. And so obviously your parents know this time.
And they're happy because I'm with a Nigerian. All of a sudden I'm the golden child.
It's probably the Jamaicans' fault the first time. That's probably what everyone thought.
No, they just thought I was too young. That was just a general consensus.
Okay.
I was just too young that time. It's no one's fault. In hindsight, I should have stayed there, and I should have just stayed with him and allowed myself to grow in that relationship. Sometimes I feel like that. You know when you? Yeah, because I look back and I think, well, he wasn't like awful compared to what I've seen as the years have gone on.
Mm-hmm. But I guess, you're so young.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know what you want in a relationship.
I hadn't seen anything to know that.
I mean, he should have known.
Yeah. You can't then. What you're expecting so much by even saying that.
Maturity levels probably was yours too.
Yeah, if not lower.
All right, so you get married the second time to a Nigerian now, and because everyone wants you to, and I guess you have a big wedding this time.
Humongous.
Like a huge.
Humongous.
Nigerian wedding.
Humongous.
Right.
Ridiculous.
So to be fair, I feel like the pressure must be on this time, because it must work this time, because all aunties and uncles have come to the wedding.
People have spent money.
Yeah, like it's got to work.
They printed invitations like a year before. We've been going to church for counselling.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
all
trying to do it proper.
Trying to.
Okay. And what was the relationship like with the new partner and your daughter?
He absolutely doted on her. Okay. When we first met. And
did she take to that well?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, she did.
Was she quite young?
Yeah, she was really young. She was like 3. So 3-year-olds, if you buy them a unicorn.
3 years. So that was quite quick then after your divorce.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't a lot of time.
Yeah, no, I didn't give myself any time to anything.
Right. But so she's young, and so he's being a stepdad. Did he have any other kids?
No.
No, okay. So he's not got any other kids, and he's been a stepdad to your little one, and it's going well. You've had another child. How long did that marriage last?
We got married after 4.5 years and divorced within 6 months.
Oh, really?
Within the year. Before the 1 year anniversary, we were divorced.
How do you feel about that?
Like I wasted everyone's money. And I wish I could get all the money and spend it on something now.
Wow. So why do you think it went down?
Because I shouldn't. I was lying to myself. I was lying to everyone. I was living in... I was a shadow of who... And my friends saw it. People saw it, but I denied it. Yeah. And so nobody could help me. I just...
Okay. And was there anything that... Why wasn't the relationship going well? Was there anything that he was doing or anything that you was doing? Like, why is it not
There was
working?
a lot of violence.
In the relationship?
Yeah, there was a lot of abuse, I would say.
On one way, both ways?
Definitely. Well, I shouldn't say definitely because it could go either way, but it was on his part towards me. Yeah.
Okay. And did you see that from like the beginning earlier on, or did that?
I saw that later? From 7 months pregnant, and I'm already 7 months pregnant.
Really?
And
what when you say violence, like what can you describe?
We had this stall, like this wooden stall, and the legs crisscrossed, and he picked up the stall when I was 7 months pregnant and hit me on the back with it. Really? And they used it to smash up the television.
Wow.
And that argument was probably over like food or something ridiculous. And I think that's the first time I saw this crazy raging temper.
Yeah. And so, I mean, what did you do about that? Did you tell anyone? Did you know?
I told his family.
Okay. Thinking,
I don't want to start making everybody hate him.
Yeah. So that's weird. Like, why did you tell his family, not your family?
I don't know. I felt like, when you start telling people that something's wrong, they start looking at the person different. So even when things are right, they don't, that's it.
So then. Did you think his family would judge less because they're his family?
No, they would sort him out.
Yeah, they would be like, they would be like, what are you doing? This is their responsibility. Whereas yours might have just said, get out of there.
Yeah, and then that would have been the end of that, and I wouldn't have been able to.
Okay, so you said you're 7 months when he first got violent.
Yeah.
So how long did you kind of suffer through that violence? Like
Years. It wasn't constantly every day.
Yeah.
That's not how it usually works.
Okay.
It would be great for months, and then suddenly something would.
Okay, so you said that it was great for months, and then something would happen. When you say great, were you feeling like, I don't know, like paranoid or like in fear that it might happen, or was it generally like, okay, it's happened and it's never going to happen again, we're good?
So the first time it happened, and I genuinely, like, he cried and bawled.
I hear that a lot. I thought that was made up in like films.
No.
They always say that.
No, like I left the house that night. His aunt came and picked me up, and I stayed at their house for a few days. He had to come crawling to their house, begging and crying.
Okay. That sounds like a bit of quite a normal response.
Yeah.
This isn't normal. This has happened to me. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm gone. And he comes back and convinces you to come back.
Yeah.
So did you think, like this was a one-off?
Yeah.
And it won't happen again?
It's not going to happen again.
Okay.
I mean, this is me. I'm one of those people that's like, never. But you never know when it's happening, how you're falling into it. So I stayed there. He came groveling. I went back. And then I'm spoiled rotten. I have to say, he used to really go above and beyond to make up for it.
Okay.
But then, hindsight says that's narcissism.
Yeah.
It was more about making himself. Everything that he did still turned out for him. Yeah.
So obviously, you suffered through the violence for a good few years. Did your kids start to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are the reasons I decided. That was when I started making up, like, before I married him, I did tell people.
When you say people, whose people?
I told my mum.
Okay. And when you say you tell her, what do you tell her? Like, what do you say? He hit me one time, or he hits me all the time. Like, what do you say?
I'm like, he's gonna kill me. Like,
is that how you felt?
Towards the end, it was getting to that stage where somebody's gonna die. Because now
I like the way you say somebody. Yeah, because like it could also be him.
Yeah, because I was starting to defend myself again. At fact, like I would in the course of this relationship, I was like a size 28. Okay. That's how much I hated myself. Yeah. So I was like comfort eating, and he's a feeder as well, so he would cook up a storm and just be like, "Ciao, baby, you look hot anyway." And I was lapping that up at the time, not knowing he was fatting me up for roast.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah, so the good times were really good.
But so you told your mum before that you said, like, and what was her advice to you?
And then it was a sore point. We had to go through a lot of healing for this. She advised me to stick it out.
Okay.
And be patient and
is that when you, because didn't you say you was going to counselling at church before you got married for this one?
I would lie at the church.
Yeah,
like,
but was that maybe the whole idea of like that will make things better? Like, let's do all this and...
Yeah, but then when I would get there, I wouldn't be able to say anything because he's sitting right next to me and I'm scared. Yeah. So how... So
it's not actually counselling for the real problems?
It's not. It was, I guess it was just for show, like I said.
Yeah. Okay. And you just mentioned there that took quite a bit of healing to get to this point with you and your mum.
Yeah.
Because she did advise that you.
I feel like she could have saved me from myself, and she didn't.
Yeah.
But she's got her own demons and things that she's aimed. She didn't want me to be a single mum.
Yeah.
So. Like, you understand, she didn't want me to get old and be lonely, so she also was fighting for my marriage, but in the wrong way. So I don't know. I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I mean, well, from how you sound now, you've said it took some healing, and it sounds like you're coming up with reasons why she did what she did. But is that a place you've had to get to? Have you ever had a conversation with her to
definitely. I have.
How you felt about it?
In the recent years, with healing, you have to now begin to not only be honest with yourself, but with people that hurt you, if they're going to stay in your life.
Yeah.
And so we've had that conversation. We've had many conversations to do
with
healing.
Have,
and I've also realised that if it's things that I know she's not going to be able to acknowledge because it hurts her too much too, I'm not going to force those things.
Okay.
But I'm going to force things that will help me heal. And I don't want to make her feel bad, because she was an amazing mum.
Yeah.
She did the best with what she had and with what she knew and could do. And we're lucky enough to know a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, well, not. You're a mum now, I'm a mum. Like, we make mistakes.
We all do. No one's perfect.
And, we think we're doing the best and stuff like that. But it may turn out in the future that it was a mistake.
You never know.
But, I mean, this was obviously a big mistake, a detrimental mistake for you. And obviously,
even our relationship, it suffered.
Yeah.
It suffered a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just wondering then, how did that end? Because for the first marriage seemed to, like you said, there wasn't really any huge problems, and you've just kind of broken up
dissolved.
And whatever.
Yeah.
But this one is really like the opposite.
Yeah.
And it's very bad. Can I ask, like, how did you finally get out of that situation?
I think I think I was going out with we were driving back from somewhere, and he parked downstairs and punched my face. Like, we were having an argument in the car, and he punched me in the face in the car. And I remember just thinking, I can't do this anymore. And I got out of the car and started running like towards nowhere, because my house was in the other way. But I knew if I got into the house, that's even worse.
Be in the house, and it'd be like something out of EastEnders.
So then I started running, and then my neighbour was randomly coming from the store or something and saw me and stopped me and started speaking to him. And then my husband came, and they started fighting because he was trying to stop him from hitting me. The police came. It was a big hoo-ha, and he had to move out that day. And I think after that, he came back. I still let him back one more time.
Okay. Well, because that seems to be a common thing that does happen.
Yeah, because you, I don't know, you kind of hope that the good bits will, I don't know, you hope they're going to change. Yeah. You can see the good in them. But unfortunately, the bad outweighs it sometimes. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely.
It sounds like it. So when you finally did break up, was he okay with that, or did he not?
Okay. Well, no, because
you know, I'm just.
First he said I should move out. I should leave the house, and he should live in the house with the children.
With the children, one child's not even his. I'm just sorry.
It's true. No, it's true.
Really?
Oh, hold on. Remember at the beginning I said he moved in with me? Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, so it's your house?
Out, yeah.
Oh, so you should move out of your house. Okay.
And he should... And and I should go... And I also said we should get counselling. He said he doesn't need counselling, that I'm the one that needs the counselling. And he moved out. And he said if I don't let him move back in, that's it. And that day... I just switched off my phone, switched off everything, and from that day I never spoke to him again. There was in between that time. There was a time when I was sitting in my toilet, crying my eyes out, and I remember calling my mum, and saying, "I think I'm going to kill him." Like in my head, it was something I could get away with it in his sleep. He wouldn't be able to get me then.
Wow.
Like, it was a real thought.
Yeah.
And I think that's a stage that she realised even that I had to get out.
Gone too far. Okay.
Yeah. And then, I think there was one more huge argument. He kicked me down the stairs or something. And then the police came and got him, and that was the end of the relationship.
So did you ever press charges on any of the things that you did? No. I tried to, but then as the process would go on, you kind of think, you don't want to destroy his life by giving him a criminal record. Mm. You don't want to do all those things. But now I've realised that you actually have to, because they have to see you follow through with protecting yourself. Because the minute you don't protect yourself, you're telling them that you're not important. I was about to say, if it feels like, that's the message that you'd be sending, that like, oh, you didn't really commit a crime because it was only me. It was only me. You only hit me.
You.
No,
I know. Yeah, and
that's how it sounds, isn't it?
I can hear it.
Because the way you're saying, like, oh, I didn't want him to go to jail. What, for committing a crime?
Yeah.
That's what people do. You go to jail if you commit a crime. But I feel like because you're trying to say it wasn't a real crime
because it's just me.
It's only just me. So I don't want to be. I don't want to be the reason why he goes to jail.
And that's how you feel like that. That's how you feel in that moment. In that. Because you've cocooned yourself. By this time, I don't even have friends anymore. My friends are sick of me because I'm supposed to go out, I'll cancel, but really he's locked me in the house.
And do your friends know what's happening?
They know, but I'm not forthcoming with information to let them help me.
To let them really know. But
they know.
And obviously you mentioned that you put on a lot of weight, and you're not who you were before and stuff like that. So how did that affect like you being a mum? How would you describe, what kind of mum was you at the time?
I think I've always been able to switch off for my kids, but they saw a lot.
Okay. You couldn't hide those outbursts of violence.
You couldn't.
And he wasn't trying to hide them, so they were happening.
They would happen, or fights, arguments. So you can't hide, you can't keep those things hidden, but I protected them the best I could. My parenting, we would go out, I would deliberately find ways to get out of the house for the whole day or for the whole weekend, go to my mum's for the weekend. So we were inactive.
Okay. And then you said that obviously one day you turn off your phone and you don't speak to him again. Is that forever or for a period of time? Like, because I'm thinking, how did he go on? Did he go on to parent your son?
No, it was for a period of time. And then I started to speak to him again. Mm-hmm. And this was within a few months, he had met somebody else.
Oh, right, okay.
And that is why he now wanted access to his son again.
Okay. And why are you speaking to him? Are you because you want that too? You want him to see his son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And
also my daughter.
Yeah.
Because
of course
now he's this huge part of her life.
Okay. So you still thought that was a good thing, even though you know he's a violent man. You still thought he could be. Was you separating it like he could be a good dad?
Yeah,
but he's a violent partner. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I guess that's what you kind of do. You say, well, he wouldn't. I can't be with him, but he can father his children. And if you ever see any of that aggression or violence towards them, then obviously there's nothing. I mean, I would rip his face off. It wouldn't be an option. But like you said, it was only me. Yeah. It sounds sick, but yeah. It does.
And you said children. So when he came back, did he start seeing both of the kids?
No.
No.
He
not interested?
He then suddenly said he doesn't want anything to do with my daughter.
Right.
And absolutely ripped her heart out.
Because I guess so. Was he coming to see his son and get his son?
Yes. So then out of just trying to do the right thing, I now said, okay, look, you can see your son, and you can have him like overnight, and then he would take him for like 3 nights and disappear, and I wouldn't be able to find them, and everything would go crazy. So then I stopped that. And then it just became, everything was just issues and problems. So, and then he got social services involved. He started stalking me. He would turn up at the school and pick up my son.
Okay, you're going too fast. Okay,
all kind like this.
Right. Why is he getting social services involved? What's he saying?
He's just saying I'm a bad mum. Yeah, he's saying I'm a bad mum. I smoke weed. I party.
And do social services do anything about that? Do they investigate?
Well, in the end, they don't really have to because the records speak for themselves.
I was gonna say, because how could he go to social services and say you're about? Would you not just say do a police check?
Yeah, they still have to investigate.
Okay, but
so their investigation was calling the school and looking at police things.
Yeah,
and the school was like, yeah, he's not allowed in the school either. So whoever, if he's the one that's complaining, you got the wrong parent.
Right. Okay. All right. But he tried that.
But it was making my life a misery. I want you to understand that I wanted my marriage to work.
Yeah.
So
for how long?
No,
a long time.
Even no matter what was going on.
What about when you put him out and it's finished?
And that was finished.
Do you still kind of want
in
it to
my
work?
head? I'm thinking he will come to his senses and go and get counselling and fight for this relationship. Wow. You know, you still hold out hope that.
Well, what I'm hearing is the effects on you from that relationship. That's what I'm hearing. Because like you said. If you're hearing this story or you're looking at something else, you're like, no, why would you do that? That don't make sense. Why would you be with that person? They're not good enough. But what I'm hearing is a woman who's broken. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
and that's
why
exactly
you're
what it was at that
that
time.
He's gonna come to his senses. I mean, I'm not sure you come to your senses.
You don't.
When you're hitting a woman, I'm not sure it's something about coming to sense. Do you know what I mean?
Or realizing what he's losing.
Yeah.
But if he didn't realize it before. Maybe at this stage, I mean, I'd never gone this far.
You're thinking it's like a shock.
Yeah, I'd never gone normally. I would just let him back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd always just find a way to forgive him and move on quite quickly.
Yeah.
But this time,
was he ever violent to you after you lot was not together? He still managed to.
No, because he didn't have the opportunity. But he would do things knowing. And then now anxiety now sets in. I'm now having panic attacks in places.
Well, yeah, because do you feel safe?
No, I'm scared.
I mean, because you mentioned just then that he started stalking you.
Yeah.
How did you know he was stalking you?
I would see him outside my window or see him at the back, looking in the rear view window in the car.
Oh, right, okay.
And then he would be like, a few streets down or something. It's just really creepy stuff. He'll turn up at the school, at the doctor's surgery.
Oh wow! And
at the bar.
Did you do anything about that? Did you report that to the police?
Yeah, by then I'd started definitely making reports because
Did
now
you see
I
that
needed.
as a serious situation at the time? at the time?
No, that's where the panic attacks began, because I was now thinking, okay, he's going to kill me just to get his son.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, because I'm thinking, had you heard about any stories, I guess, of, you know, domestic violence where people, because I just think now, it became quite, you know, aware that like awareness was made about it, and there was programs and stuff. And
there was a lot of stuff.
That's the first thing I think. If anyone mentions it now, I think of programs that we've seen where they've shown that this will happen. At the time, I
thought he was going to just kidnap my son completely. And yes, there was quite a lot of programs at that time.
Yeah.
Of kids just going missing, and usually by fathers taking them to foreign countries, and you can't get them back and stuff like this. So I thought
there's a strong possibility.
Yeah, I was worried. But then I did it.
You did what?
I packed my bags and my kids and left the country.
Did you?
Yep.
Where did you go?
Nigeria.
Really?
8 years.
Really?
Yep.
And was that a direct, because of this, I have to get away?
I needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
I was literally, it was do or die.
Wow. And I don't know. How did you do that? Was it like a quick, like, I've got to go?
First I went on holiday. My mum was like, just go, take some time out for yourself. I'll look after the children.
Oh, right, okay.
Go. I couldn't stay. I even though I'd redecorated the apartment, I couldn't live there anymore. Mm-hmm. Everything was just starting to... And then he had this new relationship. How dare you get to be happy?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, and how are you feeling towards the woman? Like, not saying negativity. I'm just thinking, like, are you not scared for her? Like, I know you don't know her, but, like, surely she is about to get everything you just got.
Yeah, but she didn't believe me. I did try. You always tried to tell them, but in the end,
you're psycho, like, and then did she make it easy for you not to like her? Basically,
I wasn't even looking at her, to be honest.
Yeah,
I did not make it her, because I know him.
Yeah,
so I knew whatever she was saying in the background was just what she was saying.
Because I'm just thinking, I've never been in that situation, obviously, but I'm thinking there, like, when your ex gets with someone new, you know, you have the general thoughts of, whatever, you can have him, he's not good anyway, like, he's my rubbish.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, because there was that violent element, I might have felt a bit like, this is not a joke. Like, it's not a case of, you're getting my rubbish, you wait till he treats you, you know,
I was not thinking about that. I was thinking about
me.
You. And my kids. Like, to be honest, I don't know you. I really didn't give a fuck, to be honest. I don't know her.
Yeah, that's
so
fair enough.
And all I could think was, if you're seeing all this, there's never smoke without fire. So if you choose to see all this and still stay.
Yeah, because she's seeing how he's treating you,
and
how he's, you know, going about
everything.
With the kids, and just wants to see the son.
And you're still there.
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever. So I just X'd her from my thoughts. Mm-hmm. I came back, took the kids there on a holiday. They absolutely loved it.
Okay.
And then so I came back and asked them, and I was like, would you like to live in Nigeria? I think my daughter was like 9, 10 at the time, and my son, and they both said yes. So
okay.
And obviously they're too young to know any better.
But they wanted to go.
I still involved them in the decision making.
Yeah.
And then we packed our bags and we left.
And so did you go without a word to him? Like, did he know that you was going?
I told him I was going to Nigeria.
To live?
I told him I was going to Nigeria.
So it was like a holiday, and obviously.
Yeah, but if he wanted, he could always come and visit him, or he could send money for a ticket to fly him back.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't close those options, but they were never. He never saw them as options.
Yeah. So he thinks you're going to Nigeria for a holiday. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's probably not got much.
He's not seeing his son anyway at this stage because he's been doing the whole I'll take him for a night, then disappear for 3 days.
So how does he find out at all that you're now living in Nigeria? Like, does he make any contact to be like, it's been...
I never changed my number, and I've always kind of made sure that the kids had phones so that they could contact their fathers.
Did you have to have a conversation with him about that? Like, did he kick off?
No. We weren't speaking. Like, I could not, and not only that, when you can't speak to someone, you just stop trying.
Yeah.
So I just didn't say anything.
Was you divorced when you left?
No.
You hadn't been divorced. So what's the legal thing then? Are you legally You're still married.
We're still married.
You're not
No,
separated?
we're divorced now.
No, yeah, but at the time.
No, we're just separated.
You're separated. What, like, is that a legal thing, or you're just not together?
No, we're just not together.
You're just not together.
Yeah.
So, do you think? I don't know. Like, was there actual any legal issues with you taking the kids?
Yeah, he did file.
So I don't know how it works.
Yeah, he filed a case against me of abduction.
Oh, really?
He did.
And did that go anywhere?
Well, I did get arrested when I got back to England, but they let me out straight away. Yeah.
You got arrested?
Yeah. In fact,
was this after 8 years, or when you've come back
this
in
is
between?
after 8 years.
So after 8 years, they arrested you?
Yeah. But by this time, my son's already back.
Why did your son come back?
It was time. I was leaving. No, my daughter was at an age where she needed to be in the UK and get ready for uni and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I decided to move my kids back.
Okay.
I wasn't going to come back full time initially. I was going to do half and half.
So who were they?
So the children would live with their fathers.
You're going to let the kids come back and live with their dads?
Yeah. Hold on. I want you to bear in mind, I've been in Nigeria 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter has a relationship with her father at this stage. They
a positive relationship.
Yeah, a positive relationship. No, they do. Well. They do have a
but and when you say relationship, he's not been seeing her, has he? Has he been coming there?
No, she wasn't going to live with her dad. She lived with my aunt.
Okay.
But my son, who my husband had been coming to visit in Lagos, my ex-husband.
He's coming out there.
Yeah, he had been. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though he had filed that I had abducted him.
So okay, but then he's coming out, and you're letting him visit the son.
Yes.
I mean, was that not scary for you?
No, I'm not scared of him anymore.
No, but I mean, like,
not at that state. No, but I was there.
Didn't you think that if you gave him the son, he may take the son and get on the plane?
No, he wasn't allowed to be alone with him.
Oh right. Okay.
There's always someone with him when they're together. It just didn't have to be me at that stage.
But you were giving him that opportunity.
To
see his son and spend time with his son.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So and
because I also, anyone can say anything they want. If I don't let my son have the opportunity to see who his father is for himself, I will always be the one that took his father away. As long as I feel safe, he has every right to see who his dad is so that he can make that choice for himself. And it's not because of me. Because I remember growing up and thinking, gosh, Mum, I bet it's because of you.
Yeah. It's true.
And I really don't want my kids to ever think it's because of me, because I just wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to send the kids back now, but the daughter's going to live with her auntie, but her dad's going to be in her life because they've got a good relationship. Yeah. And you knowingly sent your son, how old is he, would you say?
10.
10. And you're willingly sending him back to live with the dad. And this woman, the same woman that you got with from the beat, they're together.
But at this time, I'm seeing their relationship. Does that make sense?
Like, and at this time, like a good
there's not as much hostility.
Yeah, okay.
Everything is. I've moved on.
Yeah.
I don't hold on to any kind of anger. I'm one of those people that, and then it's gone. You need to move forward. You're not allowed to live in it.
But you're happy with the relationship they have. It seems
they
positive,
look happy.
And you think
they've got children together
and
at this stage.
And you think your son's going to be in a good environment.
Yeah,
they had other kids as well.
And she had a daughter already, and then they have 2 children together. They look. It looks happy, and they look comfortable.
I mean, I'm still a little bit like, really? I don't know what. I don't know how you can trust this person.
Well, at this stage, my son's 10, so it's not like he can't speak.
Yeah.
Or tell me what's going on.
I know, but you'll be in another country, and he'll be in England. It's very.
I know.
It's very
far.
But
my mum was here as well, and it's not like my brother was here, and like I said, his sister was here.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I was supported enough to take that risk.
Okay, and you was not okay to be away from them, but you was like,
bearing in mind I'm a single mum and I work a lot. We travelled a lot. I did
why didn't you straight away think I'll come back too? Like
I had my own company in Lagos, and I had a PR, branding, marketing and advertising company. We were doing really well, and I had
so why don't you just keep your son here then? Why did he have to come back?
Because he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back.
I'm not really sure I care what a 10-year-old wants. My
My
7-year-old wants things all the time.
No, that's different.
You ain't getting it.
This is
like, he
wanted to spend time with his siblings. They had come to visit him they had shown him
a family unit.
Thank you. He was enticed.
And you're just his single mum.
And I was not going to say no to. Why? I would have been the bad guy. He wants to go.
Right. So this is kind of a thing that him and the dad are asking for this to happen.
Yeah. And he spent Christmas with them in Nigeria, and he's seen all this.
Right. So if you say no, you are saying you can't. Yeah, you can't go. But you do it.
But I do it.
And how long before you return to England?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
And why was it only 3 months?
My son was miserable. We
could have predicted that. Surely.
Yeah. But I had
But you had to let the son see for himself.
I had to.
Okay.
I still don't. That's taken a lot of healing for my son as well. But it's still healthy that he was given that opportunity.
I feel like you're in a catch-22. I feel like you can't win.
No,
because
no winning.
If you didn't let him go because you thought, what I think I might have done was be like, no, you're not going because I'm the parent and I'm making the right decision for you and I'm protecting you and this is what's for the best, so you're not going to go. But like you said, then he's just going to grow up resenting you for that because you didn't let him go, and he'll never know what it was like, and his dad would have been Prince Charming. But instead, you let him go. But then we can't blame a 10-year-old for the decision that he made.
Oh no, of course not, none at all. And also, I want you to understand that I had long conversations with his wife at the time, and we had tried to form a good bond, so that he would feel safe and comfortable with her. So I wanted to get to know her.
Okay.
So I did make an effort to get to know her, and she also made me feel like my son would definitely be safe.
Yeah. Okay. So and was he safe when he was here? Because you said he was miserable. It's not the same as safe. He wasn't safe.
No.
Why wasn't he safe?
There was a lot of violence in the home.
Is he beating the wife?
Yeah. And we didn't know. I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
I'm laughing too. It's not.
But it is funny.
It's not funny. It's not funny because
I'm laughing as well. It's not funny.
It's not funny because
there's no other reaction I can think of having right now.
No, but I feel like
and also slightly what goes around comes around.
Well, I feel like we just discussed this 10 minutes ago.
I was looking at you when you were saying that we'll get there. We'll get there.
Is this not going to happen to the woman?
I was saying we'll get there.
You knew, I knew, she should have known, and now it's gone on to happen. And like you said, cool. Like you said, she's not your problem. She's not your priority. She's not your business. But obviously, your son is now in that home, and he
has siblings.
So, what did he tell you? Like, this is what's happening. How did you find out that this is the environment?
Things like, why is he so upset? He wouldn't be able to tell me directly, but I could read my son like a book.
Yeah.
And then my ex-husband beat him up.
Your son?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
And that's the day that I got my son back out of that house. So yeah. And he says he beat him for lying, but then he says, "Oh, it's because there's a lot of reasoning in my exes." Even
when you say beat him, what do you mean?
Like whooped the crap out of him with a belt. And I will tell you now that my son is not the kind of child that you need to beat.
Yeah.
He's not that. He's just not that kind of kid.
I mean, thank God your son told you.
Oh no, that was the end of that. And then I went, picked him up. We reported him to the police.
But when he tells you, like, you're in another country, like, you have to come back.
No. Luckily, I'd flown in that week because they had already been having issues.
Okay.
And I was starting to hear that there's issues in their relationship.
Okay, so you're already picking up on
I'm
something.
already thinking there's something wrong, and I'm flying back.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you feel towards the wife, that the wife had all these conversations with you to, make you feel that you could trust her and that you should bring your son into this environment? It's
okay. So this sounds really weird. I kind of understood, and
is that because you're going back to
because I was there.
When you was with him.
Yeah. I kind of understood why, but at the same time, that's my son.
Yeah.
And she did take good care. She did take good care of him. He was fed, watered.
Well, she took good care of him as just taking of her own kids, but her kids were in this situation.
Yes, as well. And a big point that my ex-husband likes to throw out is that, because one of her children was really naughty and was getting told off regularly, and my son never got told off, he felt like he needed to overreact.
To what? When he did maybe
something? Yes, when my son did anything, because my son was the golden child.
I'm thinking the woman, if she can't, the wife,
but
can't take her kids out of this situation, she's not really gonna put any more priority on your child. If she can't do this for her
luckily,
own
after she kicked him out, and she kept my son until I got to London and took him. So.
Oh right, so she kicked him out before you got here.
Yeah,
so she's had enough now.
Yes,
as well.
she's done with him at
really?
this stage. Yep, during the week, and with me during the weekend. So it was just
living with the wife or living with the husband.
No, he wasn't there. She kicked him out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Oh right, so you lot got to a point where now that even though the husband's gone, because of circumstances and things like that, he's actually living with the wife.
Okay. She didn't let him take him, because my ex-husband was fighting her. To take, call the police on her.
Because this is my son. Yeah. It's not your son. Does the son still want to have a relationship with his dad in any way?
Doesn't want anything to do with it.
He doesn't.
Nothing.
That's it now.
Absolutely nothing. In fact, I know you're going to be like, are you crazy?
You still want him to?
I still encourage him to call him.
What? Why? What reason? You said in the before.
No.
You didn't want to be the reason you wanted your son. No. He's making his decision now.
Once a month. Not
a phone call. Or you're saying seeing him?
Yeah, no. I'm saying answer the phone to him once a month.
Answer the phone when he's... Okay.
Respond to a text once a month.
It's not going to hurt.
You don't have to hang out with him. You don't have to see him. But unfortunately, biologically, he's your dad.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of one of those stupid duty people that feels duty bound.
Well, I say it's understandable. It is understandable. I'm not sure I understand it, but I guess I'm not in the situation. I'm just listening and I'm hearing it all very quickly. This is years. Of
it
your
sounds.
life.
It sounds
I'm just hearing
crazy
it quickly.
The way I'm saying it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I can think how I think. So, but all right. And is the dad calling sometimes? Is he?
But it's all emotional blackmail stuff, and my son's not really interested. And I don't. Like I said, I do encourage him. Yeah. But I don't push it. No. I don't force it. I'm just like,
you're just like the devil's advocate. You could just simply say, you could call.
And he's like, no. And I'm like, don't you feel sorry for him one day, don't you?
Natalie, thank you so much for sharing what you've shared today. I actually didn't know what you were going to share today.
It's quite a lot, actually.
And it's quite a lot in a short space of time, because I feel like this is so much more. Like I said, this is your life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on. So we really could have probably spent hours really
combing through it
and really talking about it and going to it and stuff like that. But for sharing with us, for being open and honest and really talking about this stuff, which I really thank you for that. That's amazing. And it's an important story and an important message for people to hear. So I would just ask you, do you have any advice for either someone currently in the situation, or young women to prevent them from getting into this situation?
I'm going to reel off probably a list of sayings that I love to say,
go for it. It might help.
Always
someone.
Put yourself first. Always show everyone that you put yourself first, because otherwise you're going to show them that you put yourself second every time. You got to show them that you're your number one, because if you're always putting everyone else first, they will always put you second. And I think that was the mistake I always made. And now I put myself first. And that's why I think I'm happy to live in my truth as well. If you're in it, you're not alone. And find someone to talk to that you can trust. And find a way out. I mean, it took me a while to realise that there could be life afterwards. I think the biggest fear is where do I start? But you just kind of have to be brave and take that leap of faith. And everyone deserves to be happy, whatever that looks like. So go find your happiness.
Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of the Baby Mothers podcast. Guys, I hope you, I was going to say enjoyed the show, but not enjoyed, but I hope you got something out of watching it. And really took on board what Natalie said. And as she said, if there is anyone out there who is currently in this situation, I encourage you to get help.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Therapy
to heal after.
It's really important. Even when you're in it, even if you're not ready to leave yet, start healing. Because if you start living like you want to live, you would even find that things almost fall off naturally anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you focus on you at the time.
If you can try and find that focus to start healing. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks. This has been another episode of the Baby Mothers podcast. Thank you for joining, and we will see you again for another episode. If you aren't already, please make sure you have subscribed to the Baby Fathers channel on YouTube, like all our videos, and then also make sure you are following us at the Baby Mothers on Instagram. Like and subscribe. All the information is below.